Hello everyone, I am Vivek Saxena, working as an assistant professor in ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today I will teach you the mesh analysis method. Mesh analysis method is also known as loop analysis method. By using this method, we can easily find the voltage or current in any branch or element of the circuit. To explain this method, I have taken an example of case 1. In case 1, or you can say this one is the category 1 of the circuit in which we can apply the mesh analysis method. In the case 1, the circuit consists only voltage sources and resistances. As you can see here, in this circuit, there are two voltage sources, 20 volt and 5 volt, and rest of the elements are the resistances. Before apply mesh analysis method, I want to explain the difference between mesh or loop. Mesh is the smallest closed path of the circuit, and loop is any closed path of the circuit. Now we are applying the mesh analysis method. Before applying mesh analysis method, firstly we have to find the number of mesh in this particular circuit. Now the smallest closed path of this circuit is 2. Now we have assigned mesh 1 and mesh 2 here. Now this circuit consists 2 mesh 1 and mesh 2. Now we have to assign the current in these mesh. Now in the mesh 1, I have assigned current I1, and in the mesh 2 I have assigned current I2. These currents may be taken in clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction. Also we can take I1 as clockwise or I2 in the anti-clockwise direction, or I2 in the clockwise direction and I1 is the anti-clockwise direction. For the simplicity, I have taken both the current in clockwise direction. The direction of the current does not depend upon the polarity of the voltage sources. Now I have taken I1 and I2 I have assigned current I1 and I2 in mesh 1 and mesh 2. Now we will apply KVL in mesh 1. KVL is the Kirchhoff's voltage law. For applying KVL in mesh 1, firstly we will do the sum of all the resistances that are associated with the mesh 1. Now you can see here in the mesh 1, the resistances are 5 ohm, 3 ohm and 4 ohm. Now I have taken the sum of these resistances, 5 plus 3 plus 4. This one is 12 ohm. Now the sum of these resistances would be multiplied by the current I1. I1 is the current that is assigned in the mesh 1. After that, we will find the resistance of this mesh that is common to the another mesh. After finding the common resistance of this mesh, this one is 3 ohm resistance of this mesh is common to the mesh 2. 3 ohm resistance is common in between mesh 1 and mesh 2. Now I have written here 3 ohm. This one is the value of common resistances. Now this common resistance is multiplied by the another current that is flowing in this particular resistance except I1. Now I have multiplied this resistance by I2. Now this one would be positive or negative. It would depend upon the direction of I2. Now you can see here in 3 ohm resistance, the direction of current I1 is upward to downward direction, and the direction of I2 is downward to upward direction. It means I2 is flowing in 3 ohm resistances in the opposite direction of I1. That's why I have to take here minus. If I2 is in anti-clockwise direction, then I1, the direction of I1 and I2 would be the same, and then we will take this positive. Now after that, after writing minus 3I2, I would find that the value of voltage sources that is consisted by the mesh 1. In the mesh 1, the associated voltage source is 20 volt. Now I have write here equal sign. After that I have written here 20. Now if this 20 voltage source is taken is positive, it means I1 is flowing from lower to higher potential. If the I1 is taken in anti-clockwise direction, then current will flow from higher potential to lower potential. Then I have to write here minus 20. Now I have applied the KVL in mesh 1. After solve this equation, I get the easy value of this equation, that is 12I1 minus 3I2 is equal to 20. Now this one is equation number 1. Similarly, we will apply KVL in mesh 2. In mesh 2, again we will do the sum of all the resistances that are associated with the mesh 2. The resistances of mesh 2 are 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 1 ohm. I have taken the sum here, 3 plus 2 plus 1. The sum of these resistances are 6 and the current in mesh 2 is I2. Now I have written here 6I2. After that, again we will find the common resistance of this mesh that is associated with another mesh. After searching this resistance, I have concluded that 3 ohm resistance is common in between mesh 2 and mesh 1. Again we will write the value of common resistance, this one is 3 ohm, and the value of current except I2. Except I2, there is a current in 3 ohm is I1. With respect to I2, the direction of I1 is opposite in this particular resistance. So I have to take here minus 3 I1. Is there any resistance which is common to another mesh? No, there is no resistance left that is common in between mesh 2 and another mesh. Now after that, I will find is there any voltage source associated with the mesh 2. If there is no voltage source that is associated with the mesh 2, then we will write here is equal to 0. But 5 volt voltage source is associated with the mesh 2. Now we will check the direction of I2. I2 is flowing in the clockwise direction and current is flowing in 5 voltage source from higher potential to lower potential. It means we have to write here minus 5 volt. After rearranging the terms, we can write here this one is 6I2 minus 3I1 and minus 5. You can solve these equations by using Cramer's rules or by using the calculator. After solving these equations, the value of I1 is 1.66 ampere and the value of I2 is 0 ampere. Now I have solved the values of mesh currents. Now we can easily find the value of branch currents as well. If you have been asked to find the current in 5 ohm resistance, then the 5 ohm resistance current is I1. The answer of 5 ohm resistance is I1. I1 is 1.66 ampere. If you have been asked to find the current in 3 ohm resistance, the 3 ohm resistance is associated with the current I1 and I2. The final current of 3 ohm resistance is I1 minus I2, or you can say I2 minus I1. If you will write I1 minus I2, it means the final current would be flowing from upward to downward direction. If you have been taken the current I2 minus I1 in 3 ohm resistance, then the final current would be flow from downward to upward direction. Now the final current of 3 ohm resistance is I1 minus I2. It means that I2 already have 0 value. It means the final current in 3 ohm resistance is 1.66 ampere. Now in 2 ohm resistance, the current in 2 ohm resistance is I2 because it is the outer branch of this mesh and the current flowing in this mesh is I2. That's why the value of I2 ohm is 0 ampere. Similarly, you can write here the current in 1 ohm resistance is 0 ampere. The current in 4 ohm resistance is I1, that is 1.66 ampere. In any mesh, there are two types of branches. First one is the common branch and second one is the uncommon branch, or you can say the outer branch. As you can see here in mesh 1, 5 ohm is the outer branch of this mesh, 4 ohm is the outer branch of this mesh, and 3 ohm is the common branch of this mesh. Outer branch of the mesh consists only the current that is flowing in that particular mesh, but common branch of the mesh have the final value of current that are the algebraic sum of the current that are flowing in that particular branch. Now you can see here 5 ohm resistance consists only I1, 4 ohm resistance is consist only I1, 2 ohm resistance consist only I2, 1 ohm resistance consist only I2, and 3 ohm resistance consist I1 minus I2 or I2 minus I1. The outer branch of the mesh consists only the mesh current, and the common branch of the mesh consists the algebraic sum of the currents that are associated with the common mesh. Now this one is the mesh analysis. In our next video we will talk about the case 2. In the case 2 the circuit consists voltage sources, resistances and current sources. Now current sources may be appear into two types. The current source may be appear in the common branch or may be appeared in the outer branch. If the current source is appeared in the outer branch of the mesh, then it can be categorized into case 2, and if the current source is appeared in the common branch, then this can be categorized into case 3. In that particular circuit we have to apply the super mesh analysis. Now this one is the case 1, and you can start to apply this mesh analysis method to find voltage and current in any branch or any element of the circuit. The circuit consists only voltage source and resistances. Thank you so much.